Let's get started. It is 8:59.
Hold on, I gotta give you some more.
Oh, it's humid. This is that moment where everybody starts coming in from all around, right? So I just have a really quick announcement. I've been forgetting to say it for the past 2 weeks. I got a notification from the city, like during COVID and during the renovations of the old town hall. It's now like a historic museum for Boca. They have finished the renovations and it's no longer COVID, and they have asked that we not park there, right? A lot of people have gotten in the habit of parking there, including me. What's going on? Okay. So if you are parked there, don't worry about it for today, but just in general, if we could start to get creative and find other places to park. They've been always so generous with us, and if they're asking, I want to just respect. Okay? You can park in the multi-level lot behind the Starbucks in Meisner. You can park on the streets and use the meters. There's lots of places. Today I put my car in Burger King, but that's probably a towaway zone and not a good idea. But that's just where I ended up today, but I'll figure it out, you know. And we'll all figure it out, but I want to just make sure that I say that out loud because they did ask. And so let's just respect that. Be good citizens, right? All right, so let's do a little sound check in the back. Do you have voice and music in the back row? You don't know I'm talking to you, so that might not. Yeah, you do. Thank you. Okay, so that's the middle. In the way back, do you guys hear me back there? Yeah? Okay. Let's turn it up just the tiniest bit. Okay. All right, let's get on our feet. Sounds like a lot of bass. There's a lot of undertone there. I don't know what that is about. All right, we're going to get on our feet and we're going to open them up kind of wide. And then soften your knees. Yep, soften the knees. So you kind of will feel a little weight go into your heels. I want you to feel kind of heavy in your legs. Instead of that like feeling of lifting up and trying to be so tall and upward action. Like today I want you to feel grounded. Yeah, I want you to kind of just soften into the knees. Let the weight come into the heels. Let your arms down by your sides. And then just close your eyes for a moment. Unless closing your eyes makes you feel uneasy for whatever reason. Oh, I don't think that was not the parent-friendly version of the song. Okay. Alright. So we're just going to get a little heavy in the heels. I'm going to try to center the head. If closing the eyes feels uneasy, being in a big open public space, then just soften the lids and look a little bit down toward the ground. I want you to always feel safe and in sort of control of what's going on around you. And then just find your breath. Just find your breath and actually start to breathe, not just up and down in the chest, but breathe so that the lowest part of your rib cage widens. Yeah, and the back of your ribs fill up. I still see some straight legs. Soften those knees. Feels like you're kind of sitting into the heels. That's it. Now, take a deep breath and reach your arms up over your head. And then exhale, let's forward fold, keeping the knees soft and just letting the body melt over the legs. From here, I got an answer for you. I did. Let's pull in the pelvic floor, pull in the lower belly, tuck the chin, and start to come up really slow. Keep those knees soft. I see some locking out on those knees. Keep them really bent. And then lift and roll your shoulders back. Let's do that whole thing again, just simple. Inhale, arms reach. And then fold like a rag doll. Let the spine just kind of flow down. Keeping those knees bent, pull in the lower belly, tuck the chin, keep those knees soft. Some of you really don't want to soften those knees, do you? Roll it up. Good. And then lift and roll those shoulders back. So it's like a visible bend in the knees. It's not like just the tiniest little softness. I literally want you to feel like you're almost like sitting heavy into the heels. Yeah, like that. Keep that. Inhale, arms reach. And then hinge at the hips and fold over. And then inhale, rise. We're going to just flow with the breath, just like that. All the way up, all the way up. Yep. And then arms by your sides. Let's see if we can get it synced up with the breath. Inhale, the arms reach. On the exhale, we melt and fold. On the inhale, we rise all the way up. Just like a bubble to the surface. Pull up from inside. And then release your arms. Good. Last time. Inhale, arms reach. We're getting soft. We're getting flowy. Exhale, fold in. Good. Inhale, rise. Just move through your spine. Nicely done. Lift and roll the shoulders back. Let's take the arms up again. Inhale. Keep the knees soft, but hook your thumbs together. Spread your fingers wide. So knees are soft, the feet are pushing down and out. Start to feel a little action in the legs. So that little sit, and then the feet pushing down and out. We're starting to create a little bit more charge in the legs, and we take a little stretch to the right. Now with those knees soft, you might have more access to the pelvis. So I want you to draw the tailbone slightly down. Lift up through the chest. So as your feet push down and out, your arms and your fingers reach high. Yeah, starting to feel good. Come back to center. Take it over to the other side. Switch your thumbs. So stay kind of low, draw the tailbone down. And then just start to feel the movement in your spine, right? We were rounding forward and back. Now we're bending side to side. Good. Inhale, come back up. Let your arms go. Keep that seat nice and soft. Inhale, both arms reach. Interlace all of your fingers this time except for the index. So the palms are kind of close. We're going to bend to the right and look down. Let your fingers come down toward the floor. Sweep them across your mat and then come up the other side. Oh yeah, one big giant circle. Let's do at least 3 in this direction. All the way down, across the mat, and all the way up the other side. The feet don't have to move and the knees stay kind of soft. And it's a big circle. So we don't have to pivot the feet. We push the feet down and out so we make sure we have a really good solid base. And then let's switch and go in the other direction. Yeah, take it to the left, go down and then up. Swirling through the spine, massaging the internal muscles, loosening up the lower back. Keep those feet grounded. Don't let them pivot or slide around. Yeah, and once you finish this last one, just stay at the top. Good. Let's take our arms down by our sides. Close your eyes or soften the lids. Just do you already feel it? A little bit of breath and a little bit of movement. Look what already happened. We've already shifted and we've already created a little shift and change in our energy. And that's what this is about. It's not about standing on your head or balancing on your pinky toe. It's about breathing and moving and doing it consciously so we can let some of the tension from the body go, let some of the weak roll off of our backs. And we get to start on this beautiful, fresh new day. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift only halfway this time. Look a little forward. And then let's go to plank pose. Soften your knees, touch your hands down, and then take your feet back. It's an upper push-up position. Yeah, let's kind of push the hands down and in. So again, we have that rooted and stable feeling. And then you bend the elbows and you lower slowly. You can put the knees down if you need to, or just come slowly onto the belly. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, lower the chest. Let's make sure our hands are back, right? We want the thumbs near the head to lift the shoulders and squeeze the shoulder blades back. Start to feel the upper back work. Keep your hips down, they're grounded, and then lengthen your legs and press the tops of your feet down. That's it, that looks a lot better, a lot safer. Inhale right there. Exhale, release the chest, tuck your toes, and let's go into our first downward facing dog. That's it. On the inhale, maybe lift the right leg all the way up behind you. Yeah. And then look forward, come forward and squeeze that knee to your belly. So plank pose with a little bit of work in that hip flexor. Squeeze it tight and then take it back into that one leg down dog. Good. This time we're going to squeeze it to the belly in transition to your first lunge. Right foot steps up to your hands. Come on up slowly. Feel the feet push down and out. The arms rise up over the head. Yep. So the back toes are grounded, the back heel is lifted. So lift your left heel off the mat. Make sure you're in the bend of all 5 of those left toes. Good. Now, I know the music is soft and we're kind of easing our way in, but I see a little bit of softness about this pose, which is really beautiful. But I want to make sure that there's some stability. So can we straighten the left leg a little bit more? It might make you lift up, but it'll make your quadriceps hug onto the bone, right? Creating a little bit of stability. Yep. And then let's get a little straighter with the arms. Can we get a little more fierce, like where the muscles hug the bones and the arms extend up high to the sky? That's really good. Now, if we really want to get a sensation in the front of the left hip, we lean back just a touch. Let the chest rise, take a breath, and then put your hands down. Hands onto the mat. Step back lightly, lower slowly. Inhale, cobra, right? Do it with good form, do it mindfully. And then exhale right back to downward facing dog. All right, left leg is going to rise up high behind you. Use that as a stretch for the hip flexor, yeah. And then we come to plank and we squeeze the knee to the belly. Just look forward as you do it. You don't have to look at your knee, just like pull it in, pull it in, pull it in, and then take it back to the one leg down dog. Remember that place at the crease of the hip that was just working, and then squeeze there as you pull your knee in and step forward. Beautiful. Rise up into your high crescent. Make sure the back heel is lifted. So we pick up the back heel, we're up on the toes, and you feel weight even on the pinky toe side. So the heel isn't turning in. All of that makes your balance a little more challenging. So we want to really use the back foot well. And then we'll play with straightening the right knee. Straightening the arms. And as you look so beautiful and steady here, let's just lean back a touch. See if we can feel the sensation awaken. And then we'll put our hands right back down. Step back lightly, lower slowly. It's all good. Inhale for cobra. And then exhale, downward facing. All right, turning it up a little bit. Right foot steps up. Left foot turns flat. We call that warrior one. Make sure the front knee isn't like falling into the midline. Let's see if we can keep that knee straight on. And start building from your footprints. All 10 of your toes are working. The heels are grounded. The back leg is straight, like all of the things we've been working on. And once you get really grounded in the foundation, we can start to work on the upper body. And these are just little micro movements, right? So maybe the chest plate turns a little forward. You might feel resistance on the left side of the body, so try to draw the left hip and the left ribs a little bit forward. This is warrior one. We'll get that fierceness in the arms, a little drama. Go ahead, reach up, take a breath. And then exhale, let's flow it out. Hands down, step back, lower. So we're just building, right? Those little micro movements can all happen in the space of one breath. Exhale, downward facing dog and into warrior on your other side. So left foot steps, right foot flat. Rise up, chest plate forward. Let's build from the feet. Check in, both of your footprints. Back leg super straight. A lot of us have a little softness in that back knee. I did the softening at the beginning of the class so you could actually feel what it feels like to straighten and hug the muscles onto the bones. So if the back heel and the back foot is collapsing a little bit in the arch, you want to push into the pinky toe side, push into my foot. Yes, you feel how the arch of the foot just came up? Now that inner knee isn't compromised and you can really straighten that back leg. Yep. Now with that back leg straight, can you turn the right side of your body forward? There's a push and a pull. There you go. Inhale, reach your arms high, take a deep breath, and then exhale, let's flow it out. Hands down, step back, and lower. Cobra on the inhale, down dog on the exhalation. Okay. So you know in traditional Surya Namaskar, like we do every week, we do that a little faster. So I love giving the brain a minute to wrap around all of the nuance and all of the micro movements, and then we're going to try to do it in the space of one breath. Right foot steps up, left foot turns flat, rise up for one inhale, warrior one. And then on the exhale, it's hands down, step back, and lower. Yep, you got it. Empty out all that air and then breathe in through cobra. Exhale as you go back to down dog, and let's do it on the other side. Left foot steps, right foot flat. One inhale to rise. Yep, you look beautiful. Exhale, bring it right down. Step it back lower, nice and slow. Breathe in deep as you take the back bend, and exhale all your air out in down dog. All right, how are we feeling? Okay, we got some woo going on. That's good, always a good sign. Let's walk our hands back to our feet. We still have a couple things to warm up in the body, a couple big spots we haven't really touched. Let's bend the knees, sink the hips, and reach the arms forward. Half chair pose. Feet are hip distance apart. We're sitting the hips back, sitting back with the hips and lowering the chest. So if you're upright, you're too high. I want you to lower the chest over the knees. That's it. So you feel like your hips are pulling back, but your chest and arms are pulling forward. Now touch your palms together and pull them to heart center. Good. Right elbow is going to go inside the right knee. So that's why we have a little space in between. You got to sit down in there to get a beautiful lock. Elbow pushing out, knee pushing in. And then go ahead, exalt your arms. That means left arm reaching for the sky, right arm reaching down for the mat, and then the left leg is going to straighten. Yep. Yeah, feel that. A little bit of space, a little tilt in the hips now. Draw the chin away from the chest and lengthen your spine. Yes, enjoy for a moment. Make sure you're breathing. Yep. Keep that lock with the arm and the knee. And then when you're ready, you look down, bring that left hand down, soften your knees, and let's roll up like we did at the beginning. Tuck your chin, pull in the belly button, take it one little vertebra at a time. Inhale, both arms reach. Pull the hands to heart center, we sit back. Left elbow goes inside the left knee, and then we exalt. Let's see if we can create that lock. Elbow inside the knee, knee pushing in, arm pushing out. Make sure they're touching each other. The arm and the leg, really important there. We get a little bit of leverage there to keep the body open and long. Yep, as you exalt and open the chest, the right leg begins to straighten. Yeah, there's lots of breath going on. Try not to compress here. See if you can actually feel space being created. Head back, chin away from chest. All right, eyes go down, hand comes down. Let's soften those knees. And maybe one last time we roll it up. Use your core. Lift yourself up from the inside. Let's take the shoulders back. Good. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Let's walk it out into plank. We'll stay in plank pose for a moment. And then please roll onto the right side so you're facing left. Roll onto your right edge of your foot, your right hand, and lift the left arm high to the sky. Vashisthasana. The tailbone draws down. That left arm reaches high. Look at your left arm. Let's see if we can get all of that energy to lift up. The strength on the inside. Then go ahead and take your bicep over your ear. Look at all of you coming out. Reach and lengthen through the side body. And then arm comes up, eyes down, hands down. You got this. Lower yourself slowly down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward facing. All right, take a deep breath in and then make a sound on the exhale. Just ah. And then come back into plank. Let's play with the other side. Don't take it too seriously. Roll onto your left side so you're facing the right. If you really want to, the top leg, which is your right leg, you can bend it and put it on the mat in front of you. That will also give you some support. You can push down so the bottom leg stays straight and the top one is the one that bends. Yep. Now lift from underneath. There you go. Let's take the bicep over the ear. Yep. Lots of ways to make variations and support and build our strength. And then the arm comes up, the eyes go down. Let's release into plank and lower. Better on the second side. Inhale for cobra, and then lower your chest and stay. Right here, let's take the arms behind us. Press into the tops of the feet. Start to reach back with your arms, straight arms. And then lift your arms off the mat. Lift your chest, lift your head. Let's see if we can do this with the feet down. A little bit of press in the tops of the feet. Beautiful. And then lower it gently. Okay, now we lift again. On this one, we're going to clasp our fingers together behind our back. Inhale, lift. Squeezing from the shoulder blades. Now go ahead and take the legs up. Take the feet up. So the legs stay straight. They're reaching long through the toes. Yep. Take one more breath and then gently put it down. Move your hands under your shoulders, please. And then press yourself back to child's pose. Just pressing back to make sure that we didn't overdo it on the lower back. A little release there. Tuck the tailbone slightly down. And then come into tabletop pose. All right. Right arm is going to sweep all the way up and over up over the shoulder. Yep, open it big. And then we're going to stay like that. Push into the left arm, reach with the right arm, but then take the arm back. Take it back and then down toward the mat and then circle it all the way up. Big giant circles for the shoulder. Oh, it's so simple, but it feels so damn good, yeah? Move the whole upper quarter of the body. Move the shoulder blade. You can even rock a little forward and rock a little back. Yeah. And then change the direction. Yeah, we go down and up and around. Yeah, just taking care of the shoulders. Very nice, everyone. And then let's just place that hand back on the mat and switch sides. Left arm sweeps open. Good, take it back and then down. Make some big circles. Move your body. You're not static here. Go ahead and let the knees bend. Yep, let the spine move. Feel that whole upper quarter of the body, the shoulder blade. Yeah, lots of movement. Give yourself some room to be free. And change the direction. That's good for your brain. Yeah, some of you look like you're following orders. Some of you look like it feels amazing. Yeah. This is how we learn to be in our bodies. Go ahead, plant your hand back down. Tuck your toes and then lift your knees a couple inches for floating tabletop. I know on a humid day, this is not our favorite pose. It builds heat quickly. But I want us to integrate. Hands are pushing down and in. Toes are trying to stretch the mat apart. Then go ahead. See if you can pick up your right toes. So good. Put them back down. Lift up your left toes. Yes. And then put them back down. Lift your right hand. Touch your left shoulder. Quick. And then put it back down. And then the other side. Left hand, right shoulder. Put it back down. Nicely done. Release down onto your knees and sit in child's pose. Okay, don't get too comfortable. All right. Back up onto your hands and knees. Back into your floating tabletop. Now we know that we can pick up all four, right? The hands and the knees can all come up. Not at the same time, obviously. But you know what? Drop to to your knees for a second. I'm gonna do a little demo. Can everybody see me if I'm like right here? So if we're on our hands and knees in that floating tabletop, not on our knees, on our toes, and we pick up one hand and one foot and work on balance, right? That will be the next stage. And you just saw me do it, it's possible. So just kind of work that out in your brain. Go ahead, float your tabletop, and then lift the right toes in the left hand. Yeah, don't lift it high. Keep it like hovering over the mat, So the form stays similar. Yep, we're just unplugging some of the roots and then put it down, switch. That was magnificent. And you can feel how your body's learning, right? You can feel it. It doesn't have to look perfect the first time you do anything. Good, put that down, rest to your knees. You can sit back. We're gonna turn it up a notch. And I can tell you right now, just from my ears and my experience, that that's really hard to do if you're not breathing. Right? So if you're breathing, it's going to be way more sustainable. Now, we're going to get back in that floating table. We're going to lift one hand and one foot, and then we're going to pass the leg through and touch the hand to the chest. Yeah? And then we're going to put it back. Did you see that? Lift one, put the hand on the chest, pass the leg through. The back foot goes flat. There's a pivot there. Right? So the back foot feels grounded. Kind of looks like that. And we're going to try to do it with some grace. That means you're holding the core. Go ahead and play. Pass the leg through. Yeah, kick it through the heel. You got it. Feel the waistline. Oh, I like it. I can see how your body's learning. Yeah, balance is a really interesting thing. Try to do that with your leg off the ground. Pass it through. No, the hand goes on the chest. You're doing the same hand, same foot. You gotta go opposite hand and foot. Yeah, of course it will make it easier. All right, float your tabletop and then take it into downward facing dog. Good, push back just a little. And then step the right foot forward, stay on your left toes, high crescent. Let's get off the hands. Come on up. You got this. Draw the hands right into heart center, and then lean a little forward. We're going to put some weight in the right leg and float the left leg up behind us. We know we can unplug one of the limbs. Beautiful. Now, arms come out like airplane wings. Challenge. Right knee bends so you get a little lower. And then take both of your hands and just gently touch the floor. Then pick the arms back up and out. Pull your hands to heart center, straighten your legs, and pull that left knee up to the belly. Yeah, we got it. Plant your foot back on the ground. Inhale, chair pose. Bend both knees, sit back, feet are together. Yes, nicely done. Arms reach. Now, this chair pose is always challenging, especially the part about getting the arms up high. So let's just take our arms down by our sides. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the gaze forward. Now take the arms a little behind you. Squeeze the upper back. I like what I see here. Now pick up your heels. You get where I'm going today. Managing your balance with your toes. If you only had your toes, this would be really challenging. So you can feel the work that's going on in the pelvic floor, in the lower belly, right? You're stabilizing from your core. Now the heels go back down, the arms sweep back up, chair pose. Good, come to standing. Release your arms. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on the inhale. Let's go to plank and lower on the exhalation. Move through your vinyasa. You can modify that any way you need to. Cobra on the inhale. Down dog on the exhale. Okay, left foot steps up, stay on the right toes. High crescent lunge. Hands come to heart center so we feel a better sense of the midline. And then we lean a little weight into the left leg and float the right leg up behind us. Everything done deliberately, carefully. Let's take the arms out like a T, like airplane wings, Vinyasa. And then a little challenge, bend your left knee. See if you can do this nice and low. And then so lightly, just touch your fingers to the floor. And then without getting too attached to that, can you bring them back up? Pull your hands to heart center, pull the right knee to the belly, stand up tall. Yep, and then just put it down. Nice work. Inhale, arms reach. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Let's take the chair pose again. Feet are together here. Gaze is up. Arms are pretty fierce. Now, we're going to press into the feet. We're going to sink the hips and lift the chest a little more. Yeah, you can, just because you can. And then when you're ready, push through those feet and come all the way to standing. Maybe take a little stretch at the top. And then pull your hands right into heart center. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Let's go to plank and lower on the exhalation. Inhale, make sure you're always breathing through cobra, and then exhaling as you go back to downward facing dog. Let's come to high crescent lunge one more time. Right foot step, stay on your left toes. This time we'll rise up facing forward, but then please turn to your left side for warrior two. Yeah, so try to keep the form of warrior two simple. Let's see if we can put our attention first on the back leg. Can you make it straight? Can you feel a lift from the arch of the back foot? I think sometimes we get so carried away with the front foot and the front knee that we don't really give any attention to the foundation, right? Building that really beautiful structure. Now, once we have a nice strong back leg, you can play with bending the front one. Maybe opening it a little bit wider. See if you can commit to that. Get a little lift and support from the pelvic floor, and then reverse your warrior. So, right arm drops, left arm rises. And a lot of you, as soon as you did that, you came out of the front leg. So let's just see if we can bend that front knee just a little bit more. Look up at your hand. Take a breath. And then return to warrior two. Good, stay right there. Let's just for a second, straighten your front leg, just say it. Yeah, I saw it. Now go back in. Yeah, go back in. Same pose, same idea. Unplug the front heel. Lift the front heel, get up on the toes. Now, see if you can bend that front knee a little deeper. And we're gonna do reverse warrior, but with a little different variation. Go ahead, tip it back, but now take your right hand onto your lower belly. Pull the lower belly from below the navel. Pull up and in, and see if you can lengthen the pose just a little more. Let the length come from the pelvic floor all the way up. Did I say the wrong hand? Put the left hand on your belly. Put your right hand up. Yes, I said it wrong because everybody did it wrong. Okay. And then let your heel down. Come back to warrior two. And then take your flow. Both hands come to the mat. Step it back lightly, lower down slowly. Yeah, there's a little grace in our flow today. Take your time moving through your body and find your way back to downward facing dog. All right, let's take that deep breath in and let out a little sigh, a little sound, just like blowing off steam. And then left foot steps forward, stay on your right toes. Right? We know we can balance on the ball of the foot. We do it in our high crescent lunge. Come on up, facing forward, and then turn out to the right for warrior two. Now this first round is just a building the nuances, developing a relationship with the shape of the pose. Stability from the back leg. Sometimes the arch of the back foot collapses and then the knee collapses, so it's hard to get the leg straight. So we build from the footprint. We stabilize with the leg muscles. That lift from the arch of the foot can go all the way up to the inner groin on the right leg. Once that feels good, then you start to play. Bend the left knee a little more, open the left knee a little bit. Maybe the tailbone draws down, or maybe you need to stick it out. Some of you are jamming it under so far. Maybe you need to let it free. Find your neutral. That's it. And then reverse the warrior. Right arm down, left arm up, just feeling the space, realizing that sometimes when you look up, reach up, you come out of the front leg. So see if you can continue to work the foundation of the pose. Left knee is bending. So there's always a down and an up. We're breathing. And then we return to warrior two. Straighten the front leg, just say it. Yeah. Now we're going to return to the same pose, but we're going to add a little nuance. So go ahead, find that place that you know is sustainable, right? Front knee is not just bending, but it's open, a little bit wide. And then we pop up the left heel. Get up on the ball of the foot. It changes everything. When the foundation changes, the pose changes. Our level of consciousness awakens. Go ahead, tip it back. Right arm down, left arm high. Now the right hand is going to go below the navel. Use your hand to help pull the belly up and in and get a little taller, get a little longer. Reach a little higher with the left fingers. You've got this. You're still high up on the ball of that front foot. Maybe you could even bend your knee just a touch. Yes. And then come back to warrior two. Put the heel back down and then take your flow. Both hands down. Step back lightly, lower slowly, reconnect with the rhythm of your breath, filling up and emptying out, and then we find our way to downward facing dog. Okay, walk your hands back to your feet. Walk it back, soften the knees, and let's roll up nice and slow. Take your time, come to standing. How are you feeling? I mean, other than like a little moist, are we okay? Yeah. You know, there's something amazing about sweating out of every single pore of your body, right? It's probably the best detox we've got. Water in, water out, right? So if you're feeling a little drippy, just let it be. You're gonna go home and take a shower, you're gonna be even wetter, right? Now, soften into your knees, sink into your heels. That's it. And then exaggerate that just a little bit, not quite a chair pose. But I want you to feel you push your feet down and out. We're at the back of the mat. You got this. Then take your arms forward in front of you. You're going to keep it really simple. You're going to sit back just a little. Imagine you were trying to press your legs out like they were in like a door frame, and you were trying to press the legs down and out. And then I gave you a big ball to hold in your hand, like a beach ball, the kind you blow up and you play around with, you toss them around at a concert, right? One of those, a little bigger than a basketball, right? And then squeeze it in, because they always have a little bit of give. Nobody blows them up hard enough, right? And so you can squeeze in on that ball and you can push out with your legs. Can you start to feel what's happening? Yeah, there's a charge in your body. And sometimes in order to get the tension to leave you, you got to charge it, you got to release it, right? So right now we're going to let it build. We're going to let it build. We're going to let it build. Go ahead, sit down a little more. Push those feet down and out. Squeeze that ball a little tighter. Now as you squeeze that ball in front of you, draw the shoulder blades down away from your ears. Yes. Oh my God, this is really, really good stuff. Now, can we keep doing all of that, but take it up on the toes? I know you can. Your feet are still trying to push down and out, and your hands are still squeezing on that ball. This is the charge, my friends. You feel it. It's burning, right? But you're with me. Put a smile on your face, and then let your heels down. Let your arms up. Straighten your legs. Say it. Go ahead. Fold over. Soften, 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 soften. And then tuck your chin in your tailbone and roll yourself back up. Realign. Reorganize. Yeah, roll the shoulders back, close your eyes or soften the lids, and just breathe for a second. That little feeling that's effervescing, that energy that's rising off of you, that's the stuff that we are able to shed, the things that no longer serve us. We don't have to name them. We don't have to go to talk therapy and for months. We can just let them go, right? Slough off the week. Breathe feels like it's good to be alive. Okay. Let's go ahead and stand in our right leg. Lift the left knee to the belly. Now as you lift that left knee high, can you bend the right knee low? Draw the tailbone slightly down. If it's sticking out, you want to start drawing it down. And then we're going to cross the left over the right. Sit low enough that you can get your left toes on the mat. And then take your arms back behind you. We're just going to reach the arms back. Get a little fierce in the triceps. Feel the collarbones widen. Sit a little lower, but then stretch the chest out in front of you. Yeah, this is good. We're going to create some more integration. Let the legs squeeze into each other. And then the arms are going to start to come up. As your arms rise, lift the left knee to the belly. Stand tall. Yep. And then we'll put it all down nice and slow. Simple, but not easy. Inhale, both arms reach. Good. Bring the hands to heart center. Lift the right knee up. Take your time. Just feel your way through all of this. We unplug one limb. And then we keep pulling that right knee high, but we start to sit a little low in the left leg. Yep. If you can cross the knees, take the right over and see if you can sit low enough to get your toe on the floor. And then take your arms back behind you. Chest forward, fingers back. You know you're making space right around the heart center, pulling the collarbones wide and drawing the shoulder blades down and in. You can sit in there a little deeper, feel a little stretch into the glutes. Maybe you could even pull your right hip back and your left hip forward, just a little bit. Get that integration in the legs. And then from there, from that beautiful foundation, start to sweep the arms up. Take them high over your head and then start to stand tall, pull the right knee high. And then with some grace, we'll just put it all down, nice and slow. That's it. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Go ahead, walk it out into plank. Remember plank pose? Where you got mad at me at the beginning of the practice? Lower down, nice and slow. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take that nice deep breath in. Let out that little sigh. Okay. Let's go ahead and take the right foot forward. Put the left knee down. That's it. You can double up your mat if you need a little extra cushion under the left knee, or you can push a little more on the top of the left foot to take some pressure off of the left kneecap. Let's go ahead and take our arms up overhead. So in this particular pose, I'm going to ask you to make sure the back foot is not tucked, that you feel the top of your foot, not your toes, right? The top of the toes, the top of the foot on the ground. Now don't be afraid to bend a little bit into the right knee. Now the key to doing this one is pulling the legs into the hip socket. So imagine that, like what muscles does it take to literally pull the legs into the hip sockets? Can you feel that? Yeah. Okay, now press into the top of that left foot so much that your left knee lifts off the ground. Your ankle is stronger than you think. There you go. Keep reaching up with your arms. Keep pulling up from the lower belly, from the pelvic floor. You can do it. Yeah, we push down and we rise up. That back leg straight and strong. Maybe there's even a back bend here. Yeah, and then with some grace and careful, put the knee back down with the hands on the ground. Move both hands to the inside and widen your stance. Wiggle the right foot out to the edge of the mat. Melt a little bit into the hips so you don't have to pull the legs in the hip sockets anymore. Lizard lunge. Some of you are dropping into the forearms. That's totally welcome if it's available to you. Let your head down. position, whether you're on your left elbow or on your left hand. Let's take the right hand onto the knee and add a twist. Do it nice. Turn the chest open, turn the gaze up. One more breath here. And then eyes come down, the hand comes down. Let's go ahead and find our way to one leg down dog. So now the left toe's tucked. The right leg rises all the way up behind you. Stretch it up high into the sky and then plant it back onto your mat. Downward facing dog. Right there. Paddle your feet a little bit. Make sure your knees, your ankles, your hips are all moving freely. And then we'll take that low lunge on the other side. Left foot steps up, right knee goes down. And sometimes there's adjustments, right? Sometimes we need to go longer or shorter or wider, right? And we're going to take the arms up overhead. Now you really got to trust the left foot. You got to be able to push down. This is where we get that feeling of integration, drawing the legs into the hip sockets. The arms are up because there's going to be an upward lift. It's called Uddiyana Bandha, right? It starts in that feeling of squeezing the legs into the hips, and we take it all the way up into the fingertips, round the top of that right foot. Yes, some of you are already popping up. Do it, do it, do it. Go ahead, lift that right knee. Trust your ankle. Yep, you got to pull the legs into the hips, Barbara, and then you just got to push down to rise up. Yep, yeah. I knew you could do it. Yes, you did. And then go ahead and put your hands down on the inside. I couldn't love you more, baby. All right, let's widen the stance. And then bow our heads humbly. Feel into your body in this moment. It's not about outer form perfection. It's about feeling a little bit of surrender. Every practice should have an equal amount of integration and a little bit of like disintegration, right? And you can take it onto the elbows and then decide, do you want to be on your right hand or your right forearm? And then we'll take that left hand up on the knee and just start to play with a twist here. There's a nice long stretch for the right hip flexor. Turn the chest. See if you can lengthen around that right kidney. Tailbone down a little bit. Just get a little space in there. Make sure you're breathing. And then we'll take the eyes down. We'll take that hand down. We're going to tuck the right toes and float that left leg all the way up behind us. That one leg down dog, let it serve you for a moment. Reach high to the sky. And then plant your foot on the mat, paddle your feet. Remember, a down dog is like coming home. And we're going to push back a little, and I'm going to give you a choice here. You can take a vinyasa or you can come to seated. If you take a flow, you're just going to end in a seated position. So we'll all end up sitting together in community. So one last flow or just a seat. And one isn't better than the other. There's nothing good or right or wrong or bad about anything we do in yoga. Put your left hand on your heart, put your right hand on your knee, and just feel yourself breathing for a moment. Yeah. A little moving and a little breathing. It doesn't even matter. When it's all over, it doesn't matter what poses you did. Hopefully they did their job. They awakened something in you. Some new awareness about your body, how to coordinate movements, how to get your left brain and your right brain in a little bit of balance, a little bit of heat, right? A little bit of breathing, and that's what it's about. The body was designed to move. You know what happens when we don't use it, we lose it. Right, so here we're using everything, even the muscles we don't know how to name, even the little tiny ones that we didn't even know we had. Using them all because they all matter. And how lucky are we to be able to come out and do this in community, that we live in a free society where we're allowed to be in a park and practice physical, mental, emotional, spiritual work. It's not like that everywhere in the world. I complain about our country a lot, but it's pretty freaking amazing. And I'm still choosing to live here over somewhere else. So even though I'm complaining all the time about all the things that make me frustrated, all the disagreements, the yoga helps me remember who we really are. This week was International Yoga Day, and they had a theme this year. It was pretty powerful. One world, one family, one future. Think about that. That's yoga. Ooh, I just got chills. Yep, one world, one family, one future. If we don't start recognizing that, I'm not sure what the future looks like for generations that come after us. We have a responsibility to do our best, to have compassion, to look back and learn, and to look forward and decide what the right choices are. Not for right now, but for the future. Go ahead and take that hand off your heart. Place it on your knee, your opposite knee. So we had left hand on the heart, put it on the right knee. Left hand, right knee. And then take the right hand behind you. That was my bad. I couldn't get that right. Let's take a twist. A gentle twist. One that is not going to like tear you apart, but one that's just going to help wring out any last bits of tension. Root down into the tailbone just a little bit, and then lift up through the sternum so we create some length and traction. Yeah. And then just come around and do the same on the other side. From this point forward, we're gentle. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind your back. And just breathe. All right. Return to the center and lay yourself down onto your back. As humid as it is, how lucky are we that we really had very little sun. Right? Always something to be grateful for. Someone upstairs is taking care of us. Put your feet together, let your knees drop open. Let's relax the hips. Take the arms up overhead. See if you can be a little softer with yourself. See if you can notice some movement in the belly. Speaking of gratitude, always a little gratitude when we hear that sound. If there's someone who's chosen to make a life, a profession out of rescuing people, that's pretty amazing. We call, they come. Let's go ahead and draw the knees back up to the center. And then bring your arms down. Let's pull the knees into the belly. Give yourself a little squeeze. You might need it, kind of like those child's poses at the beginning of the practice. You can squeeze in and rock a little side to side. Just do what you need to take care of yourself. And then we'll guide both of those knees over to the right side. As the knees and the hips go right, open the arms out wide and look to the left. Again, softening into the breath, softening the outer form. If your feet are kind of in the air, let them down. Trust the mat beneath you and know that she will hold you. She has an unbelievable way of just accepting you and meeting you exactly where you are. I've come to the mat on the best and the worst days of my life. No matter what, she holds me. And even all the mundane days in between. There is a space of no judgment here and a space of healing. Let's bring the knees up and around to the other side. Bring it out for the last time, softening, just shifting the attitude. An invitation for relaxation, an invitation for healing. You have to know that I am a big fan of the movement, but I believe most of the magic really happens in the stillness. And so that is where we're headed. When you're ready, you'll find your way back to the center. If you need to give yourself one more squeeze, go ahead and do so. And then just extend your legs out long. Open the feet a little bit. Take the arms down by your sides. Let yourself be. Let's start to awaken just with our breath. Listen for the sound of your own breath. Maybe you can start to hear the breath of the people around you. And that might be enough to inspire you to start moving and stretching a little bit. And again, it's that breathing and moving that will help us transition into the next part of our day. So we move consciously, we stretch, we take care of ourselves. And eventually we come to seated, just right back to that seated position. And I think as we navigate our way through this summer, I'm just going to remind you to hydrate. And sometimes it's not just water, right? Sometimes you gotta add, what do we add? Potassium, like a little orange juice, a little salt, a little coconut water, you know? On days like this when you definitely sweat more than normal, right? Maybe just add a little something to the water. Or supplement the water with something. And it'll just keep your energy up. It'll keep you feeling good. Bananas too. Yeah, I just never really want you to walk away from the practice feeling depleted. I want you to feel like a fullness. Even right now, in this moment, we can feel relaxed but energized, right? Both things are true at the same time. Can you feel it? Yeah. What a beautiful way to go into the rest of your day. Relaxed but energized. Like you have the energy, you have the clarity to go and do all the things, but you're not stressed out about it. I wish that we could all live like that every day. And so maybe we just need to get on the mat more, right? Take that hour, or even a half an hour. Radical self-care, right? Breathing and moving. Imagine, radical self-care. That's what I think it is. Let's close the practice together with the beautiful and the sacred sound of Om. Hands together at the heart. One long, deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, perfect peace. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the actions of my life and all of our lives somehow contribute to that happiness and that freedom for all. May we remember we live in one world and that we are one family. And that together we are responsible for creating one future. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking care of yourselves and supporting my work in this community. Namaste, my friends. Namaste to everyone. I always feel bad. My back is always to somebody, right? No matter where I go. Have a beautiful Saturday. Doesn't look like we have much to do in terms of the chairs, but I do have the sign-in sheets up front here. I would appreciate it if you would sign in, especially with summer. If you're not receiving my emails, please give me your email address so that when we have to cancel, we do have a cancellation coming up on July 15th because they're doing that Burger Bash, the annual Burger Bash, so there won't be any that week. And I like to send out a reminder, right? So like I want to be able to stay in touch. You also would find out about all of the amazing things that we have going on at the studio. Like today, we have Kristen and Malia, two of my girls. My favorite girls are holding a Sacred Breath, Sacred Sound workshop from 1 to 3. So a little bit of like soft yin sound healing. You got to just come and experience it to really understand. Do you want to speak to it a little, or did I get it? Yeah, you'll love it. It's yummy. There's still a couple spaces left. It was starting to fill up, but there is room if anybody wants to go from 1 to 3 today. Kristen is here if you want to ask her any questions about it, or myself. I still have a space for Italy. The property, I usually do a buyout when I rent a villa somewhere in the world, and it's usually all ours, but the property, the week I wanted, they already had a couple of reservations, but those reservations have dropped, so they've offered me more space. So if someone would like to come to Italy, August 27th to September 3rd, if anyone's interested in joining me on retreat for a week in Tuscany, thank you so much. Please come up and see me. I can give you information about that. It's also on my website. I have magnets and I have passes. If you have never been to the studio, I would love for you to come as my guest. So come up and see me. I'll give you a pass. I can give you a magnet for your car. You can sign in, give me your email, all of the things. Or hugs, sweaty hugs.
Hey, good morning.
Are they charging for parking now?
Not, well, some places. That's where I'm talking.
They're adding meters over here now.
So yes. Yeah, that's fine.